What in the world is going on? I'm just kidding. In case you're wondering, why has K-Dog come back on the internet? Well, it's a brand new year. So I thought I would do a countdown. Well, not a countdown, but we're going to take a look at my favorite purchases of 2011. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get right into the intro and we'll get right into it. Alright, we're going to kick things off. The first one here, and most of these are probably alphabetically, but we'll just get right into it. 310 to Yuma. Russell Crowe, Christian Bale. Great Western. Great movie. I've watched this I don't know how many times, and I really enjoyed it. Next up, the A-Team. Hey, it's good fun, I think. And I don't know how many times I popped it in just to see where they meet Murdoch. I mean, next up, I know it's not that great of a movie, but I really enjoyed the storyline in it. Special effects are terrible, and it's Air Force One with Harrison Ford. Yeah, just good fun, good action flick, but CGI is really bad. Next one, Walt Disney's Bambi. And the reason why this is on here, because this was the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater, and I'm happy to have it on blu-ray. Now this one is a granddad. I think the granddaddy for a while. Band of Brothers. On Blu-ray. I only paid $36 for this at Best Buy, so well worth it. Next up, Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks film. The reason why this is in here, because it's just a funny movie. It's a rewatchable movie. Even though the Blu-ray is not the greatest edition, the Blu-ray, if you have the DVD edition, there's really no need to upgrade. Special features are the same. The only difference would be there's a little bit better in transfer, but other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, but it's a funny movie. It's a great movie, and very funny. Next up, Cars. Do not have Cars 2 yet, but plans will be coming soon for purchase of Cars 2. But yeah, Cars. Next up, I picked this up at a Blockbuster that was closing down, and of course you'll see some other Blockbuster movies I've purchased, Blu-rays and such, but this one I picked up. It's kind of pricey when I picked it up. They were wanting $11 for it. And this Blockbuster closing down, it was not the best on deals. Matter of fact, I saw the A-Team in there used for $13.99 when Walmart had it for $12.99. So $12.99 brand new. So why was I going to be paying $1 more for a used Blu-ray? But anyway, what I picked up from there is the Chipmunk Adventure. This is the only way that you will see this movie. This is a children's classic of the 1980s. And this reason why I picked this up, even though at $11.99, is this is out of print. And it's kind of tough to purchase on eBay. I mean, like $25, but yeah. And the disappointing thing about this is there's not a lot of features on this. The only feature is that there's some artwork that they used from the original. It's basically sketch art and how they did the animation. I'll get into a little bit more on the Chipmunk Adventure. Of course, I would rather watch that than the new Chipmunk movies, which I think they're doing. They're just butchering. Next up, favorite purchases of 2011. Chronicles of Narnia: Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Just the way this was packaged, I thought it was really neat how it was packaged. And as you can see down here, supersized $70 value. And it's just loaded. I've shown this off before, so I'm not going to do it again. Next up, I didn't think this was too bad of a buy. I'm trying to think here for a second. It was $10.99 at Best Buy, and it's a Best Buy exclusive. And these digibooks are really tend to be about average Blu-ray price, which is $29.99. Not bad, but this ran about $10.99, and it's the Best Buy exclusive digibook of Citizen Kane. Nice edition. I showed this off before in the Blu-ray update recently. As you can see, it's got the movie there on Blu-ray, and it's got this book with all these facts and photos and so forth, plus a DVD that was a PBS documentary talking about the battle that Orson Welles had while making Citizen Kane, and how even though it was a box office failure and a troubled shoot, it still ends up being the greatest movie of all time. Think of that. The greatest movie of all time was a flop. Next up, Fantasia and Fantasia 2000. The 4-disc edition has both Fantasia and Fantasia 2000 on Blu-ray and also DVD. Loaded package. As you can see, it's kind of thick. Next up, I keep popping this in, and it's rewatchable, and it's Martin Scorsese, and it's Gangs of New York. $8, Best Buy. And yes, it is the Lionsgate edition. And if you do see the old Buena Vista edition, don't worry. That's essentially what this is, because all they did was just put the name Lionsgate onto the disc and the cover art. Yeah, right there. But other than that, they just made a direct copy of the old Buena Vista Blu-ray. So next up, $5 purchase at Big Lots. Ghost, a guys can watch these movies too. I mean, come on. You gotta put yourself into the situation. You know, if you're crazy in love with somebody, how far would you go to protect them and to show that love? You know, come on, guys. And of course, it is DVD. I'm not limiting this collection to DVD. It is Blu-ray. Blu-ray and DVD. So, next up, The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. Of course, I've talked about this one before. How I had the fiasco with the Eco case. When's that crap gonna stop? But as you can see, I fixed the thing, and I used a replacement case. What I was going to be doing for the Blockbuster releases, but all the Blockbusters in my area had closed, so I don't have a Blockbuster video to go to. Next up, I'm going to do both of them at the same time because they are the first movie and its sequel. Even though I purchased them at two different times. And it's Gremlins. Wrong thing. Gremlins and Gremlins 2, the new batch. Now these two, reason being they are on DVD. Well, first of all, reason why this is on DVD and not Blu-ray. First of all, I think the Blu-ray is overpriced. Way overpriced. $25, while this is only $5. And yeah, $25 on Blu-ray. No new features. The transfer is subpar. So you're best off with just getting the DVD. And I don't think this is going to be coming out on Blu-ray, even though I paid $10 for it, but it's well worth it. It's good cheese. Next up, because I have some favorite scenes and I just get a kick out of watching over and over again, it's Jim Henson's Labyrinth with David Bowie and a young Jennifer Connelly. I think she was around 15 years old when she did this. There's some key sequences I just get a kick out of, and musical numbers that David Bowie and some of the puppets sing throughout the film. Next up, I picked this up at Big Lots for $5, and way it sounds, finally there will be a Blu-ray of this movie coming out, but not until I believe in the spring. But right now, I think this was the best version I could find of this movie, and it's Lawrence of Arabia. Found this for $5 at Big Lots, and it's a 2-disc edition because the movie's so freaking long. And it's got this little thing right here. In this little insert contains a reprint or reprinting of the original Premiere program guide. Of course, I dropped it on the floor, but it'd be nice if they had a full replica of the whole thing, but it's, it's basically printed in the insert form, and it gets pretty extensive. And for $5. I mean, this is the best edition until the Blu-ray comes out. Let me fix my chair. I'm sitting on my wire. Next up, The Lion King Blu-ray. Proving once again that this is considered one of the best movies of all time. It is the #1 animated film of all time, and it's a shame Disney hasn't come anywhere close to doing stuff like this again. This was their peak, and then they went downhill. Next up, $3 at Big Lots. Little Shop of Horrors. And I don't think this is on Blu-ray at all. But classic 80s cheese. I mean, based on a film by Roger Corman, and it's got some good music numbers, and it's fun to watch. I mean, it's in the same vein as Gremlins. It's a dark comedy. Plus it's a musical. I'm not that big on musicals, but it's got some decent music in it. Next up, I would have to say, out of 70s science fiction, besides Star Wars, this is pretty darn close. I really enjoyed this in its Logan's Run. It was a 1976 release by MGM. And yeah, it's a British-made movie, but it's darn good science fiction. If you want a modern-day telling of this, watch Michael Bay's The Island, but I don't recommend you watch The Island. It's bad, but stick to Logan's Run. It's the same. It's a similar premise. But I could tell you what it's about, but probably better not, because that would spoil it for you. Go check it out yourself. It's available at Best Buy for $10. Next up, MASH on DVD. This is the original motion picture with Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould, directed by Robert Altman. And in case if you haven't seen the film and you're saying, well, it's the exact same thing as the TV show. Wrong. The tone is completely different. Even though they are comedies, this is a much darker comedy than what the TV show is. For the TV show, they had to lighten it up because of some of the humor. The humor in this is very sex-based, and it's very gritty. It's very moody, but it's still a comedy. And come on. You're in the military and you're in golf outing clothes. But yeah, check this out. And I do encourage you to get the DVD version. For the Blu-ray I did check up on before I purchased this on DVD, actually. And the price wasn't that different, but I think the transfer, they had what was basically described as a DNR disaster. So, basically to avoid the digital noise reduction, I went with the DVD. And plus it was $5. Next up, Network. I forget how much I paid for this. I think it was around $5. And this is the old Warner DVD version of it. But the movie is still there. The message is still there, regardless if it was restored or not. And doggone, there's some good performances in this movie. Next up, the Omega Man on DVD. Picked this up at a closing Blockbuster, and that Network I picked up at a Dave's Video. But yeah, Omega Man. And I actually prefer this over I Am Legend with Will Smith. It's based on the same story. Next up, Platoon. Great 80s movie about Vietnam. And, of course, is the 25th anniversary edition. Directed by Oliver Stone. You know, the whole story. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Never saw it this summer. And doggone, I lucked out. But I still picked up the Blu-ray. And man, this movie's killer. Another one, The Princess Bride. Even though the case is crap. At least it wasn't the Eco case, but it was the... That's what happened to the Blu-ray logo when I tore the sticky tape off. Princess Bride, classic 80s movie. The Road. Picked this up at a closing Blockbuster for $13, I think, but not the best price, but great movie. Saturday Night Fever. $10, Best Buy, and it was on sale. Have not seen it on sale since. Matter of fact, price I think went back up to $30 or $25. Yeah, $25. Scrooged, a classic 80s Christmas movie starring Bill Murray on DVD. $3, I think, at Big Lots. Yeah. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Of course, I got to adjust it so the glare's not there. Yeah, killer movie. Very fun watching movie. Even though I'm not a big fan of Michael Cera. I think he's a two-bit jerk. I mean, the guy was fired off of Knocked Up. He was originally supposed to play the Seth Rogen character, but then he, during a screen test, was kind of a prima donna, whiny little jerk, and he ticked off Judd Apatow, and he got fired. Yeah, that says a lot. You're fired off a Judd Apatow movie. But yeah, this is probably the best thing he's ever done. It's fun to watch. I mean, it's cheesy fun. Next up, Sling Blade. Of course, is the Buena Vista, actual Buena Vista title. If you can tell, there's little things about you can tell if it's Buena Vista or not, if it has the release date on it. And if you read the small print down in here, it'll say Buena Vista Home Entertainment. Next up, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah, the Blu-ray and DVD combo pack, and it's loaded with features. I mean, and this one needed to be because it was the one that started everything off for Walt Disney Films, and it was the first full-length animated feature. And it still serves as the template for animated films today. And of course, Super 8. Don't need to talk about that because I talked about it enough. Star Treks 4 and 6. Both on blue. Fantastic. And just a little teaser to the next Blu-ray update, Blu-ray and DVD update. I should, by tomorrow or Tuesday, have the original motion picture on DVD. I've been looking and looking and looking for that one, and no other choice but to buy online. I try to avoid buying things online, but I eventually do take that plunge. Got about 7 more, so I'll go through these quickly. Tron Legacy. the remake of True Grit. Twister. Now the reason this is on here because not only did it have everything that was on my DVD, of course I participated in the Best Buy trade and save that took place the last time in October. Got this for $5, and it had everything that the old DVD had. It has a decent transfer to it, and it has even more bonus features. Not only that, my little hometown is mentioned in this Blu-ray in a documentary about a tornado that hit Ohio, and it developed into an F5, and I was actually in that tornado, not in Ohio, but I was in the tornado when it was in its bare bones form, which was an F1, and it took out I was working at a KFC, Taco Bell at the time. All it did was make our lights flicker. It took out the canopy to the hotel next door and wiped out the side of our grocery store. It was right across the street. But moving along to the Blu-rays and DVDs. The Warriors. Of course, I picked this up at Blockbuster. That's why this case looks kind of funky, because I got some replacement cases. I did not want my Blu-rays and DVD cases. Yeah, The Warriors, Ultimate Director's Cut. Awesome movie. Witness. $3 at Big Lots. Yes Man. Of course, this is the Blockbuster edition again. And Young Guns. Killer movie from the 1980s. Killer Western. And just nothing but fun to watch. And I'm going to squeeze in one more. Of course, I forgot about it when I was pulling these out. Full Metal Jacket. $10, Walmart. And the interesting thing is they wanted 20-something if it was in that main terminal or that island thing that they have in Walmart, and it was in a plastic case. You know what I'm talking about? And it didn't make any sense whatsoever. But yeah, that's my favorite purchases of 2011. Who knows what 2012 will bring. And that's it. So see you later.